Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short, little unboxing video to share with you guys. Something different, something that we don't typically get to take a look at. This was sent to me, actually, I believe it's going to be available at African Sporting Creations, but it's a knife that I'm familiar with. It's a maker that I'm familiar with. So I'll put links down in the description. I imagine this will periodically be available. This is not a massive quantity knife. To my knowledge, they are still doing these out of South Africa. These are South African custom knives. So expect them to be expensive, but very, very cool. All the appropriate links will be down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Nice box here. I haven't seen this before. So what's AB Knives? Arno Bernard. You can see right here. Is it right side up? Arno Bernard Knives. And this is the Turaco or Turaco. It's probably Turaco. Now it says mirror, which I wasn't expecting. Flippers M398 running on bearings. Techno Carbo Gold CF. Ooh, the one I looked at had wood inlays, but they give me that. They send me the fancy ones. Looky here. Very nice bar. Oh, beautiful. I can see it. Let's take a look here. Very nice. I'm not like a Hank connoisseur, but I do appreciate one that just feels nice, you know? So I know some of you are. There's the knife. We're going to get it out here in just a moment. Does it come with a little coin? That's cool. All right. And then it comes with a slip if you want to use it. We've got the sticker here. And then this is the Turaco number 116, Technocarbo M390, and the sheath is bovine. Oh, and it even comes with the tools. That's so cool. I love it when it comes with the tools. Not the same as the Orca. This is a different model yet. Now, this is a button lock. They have never done a button lock before, so I understand, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you know, everybody's done a button lock. They have not done one yet. And so I'm kind of like, the way that I look at it is, if you're the company or entity who has 400 million, kajillion, bajillion, shabalabaloo, we just watched Austin Powers the other night. If you have that many button locks in your line, probably time to move on. You know, probably time to do something else. If you've never done one before, yeah, sure, take a crack at it. He wanted me to see what I thought. And give him some feedback. So I'm just doing the first impressions today. We'll do the review after a bit. Right off the bat. God. Right off the bat. Absolutely beautiful. We have a very, very, very high polished finish. It's kind of what I was expecting. You have to remember, there are a ton of hand elements in this knife. And when we use the word mirror, it can mean anywhere from extremely high polish to legitimate, like absolute mirror. So I am down here with the pipes. So periodically it sounds like someone's peeing. It's just the pipes down here. Sorry about that. But yeah, my guess is that this is entirely polished by hand. Very, very nice. Orca-esque blade profile with that little choke up spot there. We have the, I got to check the disengagement. Ooh, man, it's almost like a magnet. Good God. So the detent that you guys have created with this plunge lock, I'll let you guys all see right there. Very, very smooth disengagement. And then we have plenty of actual engagement here on the button lock itself. Very smooth disengagement. I cannot stress this enough. So this might actually be the smoothest button lock that I have ever felt. That is absolutely wild. The detent that is created by the plunge lock is exactly what you want when you are... I cannot believe how aggressive that thing falls. That is ridiculously smooth. No detent lash. It's so... You can see it. That blade falls so quickly, my brain doesn't have time to register that I need to let go of the button so that it can fall back into the closed position. You can also use this little notch there to reverse kick it out. Sorry, I'm getting fingerprints all over it. Very, very classic, very Arno Bernard profile here. Really nice jimping, really nice choke up spot. This is the kind of knife, and it doesn't, you know, a lot of people think that people like me kind of present themselves as people who are able to really tune into the fine details and intricacies. And there are intricacies, sure. I think the average person with basically no experience whatsoever could pick up, you could lay down a gas station knife, you could lay down a really nice production knife, and you could lay down something like this. And I think the vast majority of people would be able to figure out which one costs more money just based on feeling. I don't think, I mean, like, these are the types of knives that make it that obvious. And it's really hard, you know, for you guys watching and not actually able to, you know, use the senses present in the room with the knife, because it really does, it really does just like paint an immediate picture, right? This knife absolutely feels like it is like an incredibly nice knife. So, we have a little lanyard thingy back here, and that's fine. It looks like they've already kind of turned it into something, and some of you will remove that and some of you won't. Fortunately, the way that they tied it up here, it'll be really easy to remove if I want to. We have a milled titanium pocket clip. Very cool. I love the look of this, and the gold Technocarbo is super duper nice. Now, I imagine a lot of people have already gone to the comments. He's not going to test that. He's not going to test that. That's an $800 knife. He's just gonna he's just gonna move on with the upload, right? You're wrong. I am gonna test it because I have to. I don't do these types of tests with every single knife that I get, especially if the company is already established, like if they have, you know, established themselves as a company who is capable of creating a certain locking system, you know, and have it perform as a knife safely, right? Now, there are, I think, variables, like there's things that I won't test to certain extremes. Basically, the knife has to withstand light spine pressure and light spine impacts. Why? Not because I expect, somebody was in the comments the other day going, you think somebody's going to come up and smack the back of your knife? No! What makes you think that I think that? That's ridiculous. No, to the person who's left that comment. No. What I do think is a natural circumstance for a knife to be in, because I have done this and I've had a knife collapse on me, is to have a blade wedged in something and you have to pull it back out. Every time you wiggle it this way, there's pressure on the spine. Because this is a folding knife, it's going to fold towards your hand if the lock disengages. A good locking system does not need to have 1,000 pounds hanging off of it. That's ridiculous. You do not need to be able to construct a bomb shelter or remove the door of a bomb shelter with your pocket knife. That is also ridiculous. A knife should simply withstand light spine pressure and light spine impacts. That's enough for me, especially with a button lock, which is already nowhere near the strongest locking system available on a knife. So this should be able to withstand just a few taps. I am going to get some gloves. Now, we're not going to bash it into the ground. We just want to give it a few taps on the spine to make sure that it can actually withstand some medium, or really it's going to be light. I'd say that that's plenty good for me. I don't feel that we need to push it any further. The reality of button locks here is that I think any button lock that I have ever, and I mean plunge lock. For people who think all button locks are the same, I had another guy in the comments saying a button operated top liner lock is exactly the same thing as a plunge lock. And I was like, I don't even know where to start with that. Every button lock or every plunge lock I have ever handled, I think I can definitely get it to disengage by swinging it really hard. But that's also completely and totally outside of the realm of expectation for a folding knife in general, right? If you have to do that with your knives, if banging it on the spine so hard that it would disengage your average locking system is your speed, Cold Steel Triad Lock, Cold Steel Atlas Lock, Demco Shark Lock, Demco Scorpion Lock. There you go. You have about, 300 knives to pick from. Those knives are going to be all, you can go out there and just bash your knife against the concrete all day, right? You can go out there and smash beetles all day or whatever you do, right? That's fine. They already have locking systems for that. For this, where you're going to typically be, the pressure's going to be on the blade. As long as it can hold up to a little bit of spine pressure, I think I'm fine with that. Very beautiful. And how about after that test? No lock stick. Very nice. Or not lock stick. There is actually just barely, just the tiniest little bit, but there's no blade play is what I was trying to say. So, I don't know how much engagement. So here's something just a little bit here for you guys. That little tab right there is where your button is engaging, that little cylinder. Just right off the, now we're not to the review yet, but I do want to say, I think where that engages needs to be just a little bit deeper. And I think maybe this piece right here, where the piece of material that actually engages with that lock face, maybe a little bit bigger so that you have more surface contact. And they've been making knives far longer than I have been sitting at my little Home Depot table going, ooh, I wish it was like this, right? So they're going to know a lot more about what can and cannot be done and for what reasons. I think probably as you create a deeper, like the area where the surface, the lock face, you make that deeper and then you create more material contact, it's probably more likely it's going to stick. But at the same time, you also have more engagement, you have more surface contact, more engagement, and it makes a locking system like a plunge lock, which is already, like by nature, a weaker locking system. It makes it a little bit better, right? And then whatever spring we're using, spring feels pretty good, right? We want to have a spring under there that's really going to push. It's really going to want to shove that little cylinder into that lock face and keep it there, right? It does not need to be indestructible. It does not need to be able to survive the impact equivalent of a Major League Baseball player hitting a grand slam completely out of the park. No, it doesn't need to withstand that. But perhaps, if you guys continue with these button locks, I would say in the future, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I'm okay with a little tiny bit of button stick if it means that locking system is that much more likely to stay engaged, right? As long as it's not like I have to use two hands to I think it's fine, right? I think I could, this basically has no stick, and I think that might be what they were trying to accomplish. It's just barely being in there. Yeah, I think that might be something you guys look at in the future. Outside of that, I think that this feels pretty good. It looks great. I love the inlays. I think this looks awesome. Just really, really nice. So I believe they also hit their M390 super high. If I remember from the Orca, I think their HRC range is like way higher than you would expect. So yeah, very cool. Check out the links in the description. Expect a full-length review of this guy. This is going right in my pocket immediately because it's beautiful. I love the polish. Arno Bernard, I've looked at many knives from the Arno Bernard Knives Company, I guess, from Mr. Arno Bernard over the years. So I've always enjoyed this stuff. Can't wait to throw it in the pocket and carry it and use it. The other thing that's really nice that we haven't talked about, it's a knife. The edge. Something that's always the case with these. God, just laser beams, man. Sorry, I'm trying to catch that these little bitty curly cues there. Man, very cool. Okay, all right. That's going to be it for today. Links in the description for where you can either right now or eventually you'll be able to pick them up. That's going to be it. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.